Hi, in this video we are going to learn how to configure Firebase and how we can use Firebase in our React Native skeleton. So we can authenticate users using Google sign-in, also how we can send push notifications to our React Native application. So we will look into all these things in this video. As you can see, in the app.js, in line number 44, we have to configure the Google sign-in using the web client ID. So we will get this web client ID from our Firebase project. So first thing that we will have to do is that go to console.firebase.google.com and create a project over there. So let's create a project over here. So I can give one name over here, superb app, or something like my superb app. So just for the confirmation, we can simply look into the app.js or how using this my display name my superb app. It doesn't mandatory to use the same name, so for the sake of this video I'm using like this, my superb app. Now let's go forward. Let's go further. So in this video what I have just did is that I just created a project. So for the project I have named like my superb app, but it isn't mandatory to name like this. If you have a project and this project has multiple mobile applications, then you should use a generic name. So inside this project you can add multiple mobile application with different names, so it will make sense, right? But for this video I have created the project. In this project I am using the name my superb app. So I'm just want to say that it's not mandatory to use like the specific name for the project. Now we have created the project. Now inside the project we can create an Android application. So as you can see that we have to register up, right? So for that we will have to get our our package ID. So you can simply go to the Android SRC, so Android app SRC main Android manifest.xml file. So from here you will be able to see that your package ID, right? So just copy your package ID, paste it over here. I'm using the same name, just testing purpose, and you can see there is a text box, so you can have to add your your debug SHA-1. So how you can get it, right? So I will tell you how you can get it. Just run this command yarn sign. So what it basically do, you can go to this package.json and you can see what yarn sign gonna do. It's run this command basically, Gradle w signing report. So let's run it. Okay, so now you can see that we have a debug SHA-1. See, variant debug, and the SHA-1 is this. So let's copy this, paste it over here, and click register. Now this is very important. You have to download this Google services.json file. So download it and open it right away, copy it and update in the Android app Google services.json file. So update this file with your recently downloaded Google services.json file. As you can see, we have updated this. So as we have already opened this file, you can see there is a client type 3, right? So copy this client type 3. Now open your app.js and replace that client 3 here. Now let's click next, continue to the console. Now we can configure a MySuper app if we need anything more that we have to configure. So as I have opened this page, I can show you that the SHA-1 fingerprint is already added over here for the debug configuration, and in the same way you can run this command again. So because I have closed it, yarn sign, from this command you will also get your release SHA-1 as well. So let's see that, can see that release, yes. So you can also configure this as well. So if you're going to compile the release one, obviously you will have to do this process. Sorry, I didn't get it in the clipboard. Yeah, this one. Copy this, paste it over here. In this way you can also configure the Firebase for your release APK as well. Now in this project overview, here we have release, monitor, analytics. We have in the build, you can see the authentication over here. So let's go to the authentication and let's get started. Here how to enable the Google login. So now we have configured. Now let's simply run our application and see what's gonna happen, right? For that I'm going to run yarn Android. So in meanwhile I can show you some useful stuffs in this Firebase. So as you have already seen, the authentication was the one thing. Now you have analytics over here, and you can also check the crashes in your application using this Crashlytics. Let's see. The app is about to launch in our emulator. So our app has launched over here. So how we can test? Yeah, how we can test it's been configured properly or not, right? So if you open your terminal, you can see you have got a token over here. So let's copy this. Now we'll go here, the cloud messaging. Send your first message. It's my first message. Hi there. Oops. Just paste your token that you have got it from this terminal. So this is just for a testing purpose. So click next. Scheduling. App should be your app. Next. Scheduling now. Next. Review. Publish. So hi there. Scheduled. And let's see what happened over here. Yes, it reached in the device, right? The push notification reached over here. It's my first message. It's my first message. So which means we have successfully configured the Firebase in our React Native application. That's why we have got a push notification in our device. So now the next thing is that how we can authenticate the user, right? So for that, what you're gonna have to do is that you have to open the app.js here. Now you can see how it works. So it's already configured for authentication. Now here we have the Google sign-in. So in the Google sign-in, it will authenticate. So it will process the sign-in, and in the sign-in, we are sending the user data, and like the user data. So the action will be user data. So once we get the response from the Google sign-in process, I will send the data back to the user. So let's see how this is gonna be, right? Okay. So here we are triggering it, one of the event which we are receiving it from the web view. That's how we are manually triggering this Google sign in. So let's sign in. So sorry, let's trigger this manually. So in the component did mount, I will simply let me trigger it over here. Let's see what's gonna happen. Oops, it's not running. What happened? Okay, we are passing the web view over here. Okay, that's why. So what I'm gonna do is that I have the web view, this dot web view over here. Yes. So as you can see, we are triggering this manually. Okay, so let me sign in using this account. So I got a 12502 over here. So what is that 12502 error? Let's see. So it says Google sign in specific status codes like sign in required and cannot continue like 2 seconds silent because something missing happened over there, right? So what I will gonna do is that remove this from here and yes, I will launch this here. Let's see what's gonna happen because I have to delete. Now I got error 10. So Google sign in error 10. What is the error 10? The application is misconfigured. Yeah, if you are not using yes, it can occur using the SHA-1 key because of the SHA-1 key, right? But we have already configured our SHA-1, right? So let's verify that. Yes, we have already configured it, but how it's gonna be possible? It's correct. Nothing wrong over there. We haven't figured the error yet, but still we can write it over here, right? Now let's see and figure it out. What is this error and why it is happened? Let me remove this 5D from here for now. Let's release one because I don't need it right now. Still I am getting error 10. Why? I am getting error 10. Still I am getting it. I have already configured this because both of them are same. So you can see it's same, right? It's same. Yes. When I copy pasted it, I accidentally I put one no that angle bracket. So because of that, this error is happening. Oops, it happens. Sorry. Yes, I have authenticated. Yes, now I successfully authenticated it and I got this much of data. So as you can see, I can simply JSON format it and cool. Yeah, see, you have got this information, right? So in this way, you can authenticate your users using Firebase. So for this demonstration purpose, I have manually triggered it. As you can see, I have manually triggered it. But in your case, what you can do is that you can listen to the events from the web view and you can trigger it. So as you can see in this switch, you can see according to the action Google sign in, the sign in you can trigger it, and once you have got the response, you can send it back to the web view. As you can see here, you can send it back to the web view. So the web view you will be able to get the data that we have just saw right now, right? And you can continue with the authentication process. So in this way you can authenticate your user. So in this video, what you have covered right now, we have learned how we can create a Firebase app and how we can configure it, and how we can send push notification, and how we can authenticate the user, right? So in this video, I will also show you how you can enable the Crashlytics. So as you can see here, I have the Crashlytics. So click on the enable Crashlytics. So it's not enabled yet, it's listening for the crashes, right? So we will have to crash our app forcefully. So what we have to do is that the component it mount, what I will gonna do is that Crashlytics dot crash. Let me check for the correct function for that. Crashlytics dot crash, I guess this is it, because I have already searched for it before. So let me do one thing, let's run it and we can see what's gonna happen. We are going to manually crash it. Okay, oops, it didn't crash. Okay, let me put it over here, right? App should crash. App should crash. So this is wrong. I have to get the correct code actually. So let me check. Not this one. Firebase crash one. So how I can crash it? How I can forcefully crash it? Okay, they have the crash method. So this Crashlytics. Oops, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Yes. Let me try this. What's gonna happen? So nothing happened. Actually, I forgot the current implementation of the Crashlytics. So let's figure it out right away. Yes, this is how we are going to, crash it manually. So it crashed. Our app just got crashed. See, so you can see it's crashing, right? We are forcefully crashing it. Crashed. So here we go. So this is the correct way that you can manually crash it. Sorry for the delay. Happens. Now if you go and check over here, we already got the crash over here. That's why it says installation successful. Now if you go to the Crashlytic dashboard, you can see the crash details, where it is happened. See what happened, really what it is happened. So it's a fatal exception from Java land runtime exception, and on which device it is happened. You can see. So it's an Android SDK capable for x86. It's an emulator, obviously, Android version and the app version. So in this way, you can log all your crashes. Thanks to Crashlytics, without any hassle, we got our crash, and Crashlytics sent it to the servers and it logged over there. So in this video, what we have learned how to configure Firebase, how to integrate Firebase into our React Native skeleton, how you can use push notification, how we can authenticate the users, and how we can log crashes in our app using Crashlytics.